course, this man down here, we've mentioned he doesn't necessarily want to go to the late game in this matchup. In the bottom left, it is Serral.
And in the top right-hand side, it is for Ting Neeb.
Indeed. And how many Zerglings will we go to? Looks like 10 full Zerglings for now. That's the standard commitment. Anything more than that usually means the Zerg is really going hyper aggressive. I like the way Neeb comes in behind this just to double check. Hey, this wasn't just 6 or 8 Zerglings, was it? That probe's still hanging around to confirm what's going on. And there we go. Serral's going to get to work on that second gateway. Notice that Ling on the left-hand side says, hey, if you go out too far, I am going to get behind you, Zealot, and not let you get back to the choke point. That Zealot cannot get too far from the safety of that wall. And Neeb, trying to do the greedier response here, has not pulled probes down to defend. His Zealots do get surrounded, but a nice little shuffle. One Zealot gets surrounded, the other one putting up a good count for himself. Oh, no.
Yeah, misses a couple of shots there, unfortunately. And this probe, actually, to get back in, cancels as well to try and maybe drag the Zerglings inside. He drops a Nexus. That is daring. There is an Adept about to come out. And Serral, surprisingly to me at least, wants no more to have to do with that.
Zergling gets in and gets a full scout, sees the first Oracle pop, and laser turns on, zaps the Zergling, and then just goes on out. It is a Void Ray behind that, going to come out and try and clean up some Overlords. And you know what? Serral does have 2 Overlords on the other side of the map, which is kind of what you want to hopefully find as Neeb with that Void Ray. Secure yourself a few shutdowns. The third base kicking in for Serral, and Serral looks so well defended for the anti-air. He's going right up to 5 queens. This looks like a good spot, a launching pad, I guess you'd say, for Serral to take a big worker lead to keep on pace. I feel like Neeb is going to need a very early third expansion, but it's kind of dangerous because he's got so few units to work with. He's going to move out to take his third with only 1 Adept right now.
Yeah, and the same Zerglings from the start of the game. They're still remaining and they're still finding value, right? And they could really find value at this third. The Overlord's gonna spot it, but Serral not choosing to move it, perhaps just lacking the link speed to try and apply additional pressure. I'm curious to see if he's gonna make more Zerglings. For now, it's just 2. But yeah, it seems like you said, he's just going to drone up.
What is Serral going for? And you can see the Adepts go home. The Oracles are trying to do a circuit at this base. Lovely scouting. He's going to see that infestation pit very early, and he knows that Nidus Swarmhost is on the menu. And I wonder, how are you going to stop these Nidus Worms as Neeb? There's a really scary angle. Yeah, on the top left right there, exactly where the first Nidus goes down. And that's an annoying one. A couple of shield batteries and cannons going down, spread across the bases. Oracles on the right. Neeb's actually going to try and push across this map and moving forward out here. But Lings and Roaches on the right, Nidus Worm, Queen, Swarmhost on the left-hand side, another Nidus going up. Neeb really needs to deal with this first wave well. If he loses this Nexus, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, he's even added a cannon here, so he wants all the help he can get. But Neeb has 70 probes to the 66 that Serral had when the attack started, so it is him being a little bit greedy and Serral looking to punish. The Locusts will land, but the Adepts actually do a decent job. The Immortal surviving for now. No shield battery overcharge to keep it alive this time around. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like Serral got some damage done, but not too bad for Neeb, right, Piggy?
He survives the first wave, but he did lose a few units, a bunch of sentries, an Immortal, a few Zealots, a few Adepts. That does add up because you need critical massive units to make sure you can shut down one of these waves. That Roach Ravager count is getting out of control right now, and it's just the couple of Queens that keep popping out with the Nidus Worm have been fantastic. Serral's Swarmhosts on the right-hand side do get caught a little bit. They're going to throw that Locust Wave onto Neeb's army. If Neeb can pull back, but the Roach Ravager's going to corner him. He's about to get sandwiched. Neeb, lovely recall. Quick thinking, only loses 1 Archon there.
Yeah, the Oracle, of course, was giving him the heads up there to know that he was getting sandwiched, and Neeb with excellent reaction. Now the Locust Wave is going to go to waste, and that's exactly what he needed. So let's see if he can hold comfortably against the rest of the army of Serral, which is by no means small.
Yeah, it's a lot of Roach Ravager, and they're just trying to trade out. They don't want to stand and fight with the Immortals. Neeb is just going to crack his own natural wall here. Of course, opens up the chance for Zergling run-bys in the future, but it's more important for Neeb to reinforce, and I like this. Already Hive and Hydroden on the way for Serral. Serral's not all in on this. He's going to work towards the Lurkers, the Vipers, and that's going to be so hard. Right now, Neeb is still just barely in survival mode, trying to hang on. And these Locusts coming in one more time. What can they find? Big quick overcharge does come down. They're actually trying to target the Templar Archives. Will they get it? Ooh, Serral snipes the Templar Archives. Roaches and Ravagers on the natural at the same time. He is finding bits of damage, and I love that. Splits off of just a few Roaches, leaves some behind to try to pick off Archons where he can. It's a good defense by Neeb. But Serral here, he's still in a very powerful forward position. He's got 2 launching pads for his Locusts, and things could crumble at any moment for Neeb.
Yeah, it's looking difficult. If Neeb cannot take damage from the next wave, but I mean, that's going to be even more difficult without Archons to be made, since that Templar Archives was sniped, right? So it's more and more difficult, like you're saying, and Serral behind us, he's taken a fourth, he's continued his creep spread as you would expect that he would. And here comes the next wave. This one wants to fight the army with the roaches. It lands right onto the tech units there. Picks off an Immortal and an Archon, and there's barely any AoE at all to speak of things.
Devastating. Every single time you get an Archon, it's great, but that's like 2 Archons and an Immortal Zealots are finally clearing up the left-hand side launching pad. But Neeb here has already got his Lurker down on the way. He's adding Hydras. He's got Swarm Host ready on the right-hand side to pop out one more time. And the army is finally clearing up the middle and part of the left-hand side, but there's still creep tumors that haven't been dealt with. Neeb's 4th base is just out in the middle of the map on the left. This is such a weird position to be in. Neeb is going to need to dig deep to hang on here. There is an onslaught of roaches on the left and another wave of locusts into the main base.
Yeah, unfortunately for Neeb, I mean, his supply has not been going up. It's been going down a little bit. His tech has been reset somewhat, and Serral has continued to expand. So it looks worse and worse for the North American champion here, as he is about to lose his main Nexus.
Yeah, main Nexus goes down, does stop his +2 upgrade. The Roach Hydra jumps on the front, and Neeb's army. Indeed. Well, Neeb, interestingly, has actually stopped on 18 supply right now. Is he cannon rushing? He did not realize it was pool first, I think, for a little bit there. Maybe we got a bit surprised, and that's interesting. Stopping probing it a bit earlier than I expected. No gas for Neeb just yet.
Oh no, is he gonna make 2 Zealots? Pig. Oh my god, oh no. Pig, he's doing, I sent him a replay yesterday. Okay.
Please tell us this. Give us the rundown.
Okay, so this is gonna be a shield battery rush. He's gonna make a couple of shield batteries between that pylon and the hatchery. The problem is that Serral opened pool. He didn't go for that 3rd hatchery, and Neeb seems to have been dead set on doing this. I guess he really liked it. I really didn't think that he would be using it. But ideally, this happens at the 3rd base and with not a pull out. So I feel so bad right now because this is such an uncomfortable situation for Neeb. And I don't think that the Zealots and the Adepts are going to find any damage here.
Well, this is actually something he never saw that spawning pool until the Zerglings were out. And even then, he didn't even realize because he was hiding behind the natural. So Neeb never got that information. I always think, is it really worth hiding your spawning pool on the far left like that? But in this case, it was. It actually is the rare case where the probe didn't go for the full scout. Neeb saw that there was drones being built and the base was heavily saturated. I think he just assumed the 3rd base had gone down. He assumed a drone had kind of gone out, taken that base. And indeed, you know, it was not the case. So Neeb doesn't really find any damage. He forces out 4 extra Zerglings, but he's delayed his gas. His tech is going to be a fair bit later. That's about a 30-second delay on your Stargate. He's going to try and find some follow-up with the Zealots. I like that he's trying to work his way through, but definitely an odd scenario. We're going to see how both players navigate these very rare waters they find themselves in.
Yeah, Neeb trying to keep the Zealots here to deny the 3rd, but Serral too good, even bringing a Queen here to help. So, I mean, the Zealots don't trade terribly here. They get quite a few, almost all of the links. Neeb is not trailing too many workers behind, only just the 4. He's taking his 3rd at a good timing. It's not bad at all here, Piggy.
Indeed. Sentries warping in, the Forge and the Twilight Council coming down, along with that Robo to start getting into the next stage. I expect to see Chargelot Archon Immortal out of Neeb in this series. I don't think we're going to be seeing any Colossus play, but we'll keep our eyes on it. Double Oracle comes in the natural. Spire gets cancelled for Serral. Does not want that quick Spire to get spotted, and he immediately rebuilds it in the 3rd base. The Adepts come in and spot it.
Yeah, and let's see what happens here as the response for Neeb. I expect if he has seen it, there should be maybe a 2nd starport going up. 7 drones, 8 drones have gone down to these Adepts. Actually, very, very nice damage.
Oh, the stasis in the main forces a bit of mining time as well. Serral reacted at the last second. Yeah, this is a lot of damage, Cats. This is really impressive. And he hasn't seen the infestation pit yet. And I think Serral's very aware of that. And the hallucination flies over the spore. So this, I think, really makes Serral just want to go Nidus Swarm Host. He commits once again 11 Swarm Hosts.
I would love to see Neeb stay proactive, but does he even know yet, Pig?
No, he doesn't. His hallucinations keep getting sniped by those Queen's Cats. There's no Nidus Worm, which is going to make it a little simpler to deal with, but look at the creep spread and these Queens coming forward as well. So the problem with this style is it's just a mass Roach Ravager Locust attack. I think they knew this was coming and wasn't investing in a couple Phoenix and a second Stargate. He'd be a little more comfortable. He does need a few more Archons. These batteries aren't quite ready just yet. Good force field's going to zone out most of the Roach Ravager. Those Locusts, though, uh-oh.
Yeah, they're gonna go after the overcharged battery right away, but their life is about to expire. A couple of these Ravagers will actually get trapped, but the Biles preemptively already breaking force fields. Okay, this is not too bad for Neeb. He's on the chase right now. Okay, he's gonna respect the Biles, however, big. And Locusts, I mean, they're waiting.
Those Queens are very, very exposed. I mean, Serral is really doing a bit of a crazy push version here with how far forward his Queens are. He's trying to bully back Neeb, and I think if Neeb rotates down and catches these Swarm hosts, Serral could just lose the game very suddenly. Serral is being so wildly aggressive here. Ooh, good micro on the Locusts. They don't land on the Zealots, and that's unfortunate for Neeb, whose main base is looking a little vulnerable right now. He cannot afford to lose that Nexus, but it looks like he might.
It looks like he will. If Serral wants it, he'll have it. A lot of units are coming back for Neeb, but no, Serral's instead gonna go after the probes and the cannon, so will not kill the Nexus, which I think might have been a little bit the safer call. 14 probes, however, is not anything to scoff at. And now this Roach is on the natural base of Neeb. This is not looking too great right now, Pig.
Yeah, he catches the Roach Ravager, but notice the way Serral disengages every time he's caught. If he stood his ground and fought, that would be really bad for Serral. But defensively, Roach Ravager is amazing. He forces those units to eat the Biles. He picks off a lot of the valuable units. Neeb's doing a great job of defending his natural with the air units. But, okay, Zealot warping in the main. He's got to buy himself some time, does Neeb. Neeb realizes right now that this is going to be a bit awkward. Those Zealots in the main, though, they need to start focus firing workers. Taking out a few Queens and Roaches is good, but they're going to stagnate on this ramp at a certain point. And Serral is remaxing on Roaches. He is doing super well right now. This army on the right, this is a ballsy push. I don't know, though. That's way too much Roach Ravager. Neeb has to get out.
Oh, no, Serral's too good. Did you see that, Pig? He landed one single Locust to activate the trap by Neeb, and that was supposed to buy Neeb so much more time. So yeah, that is just ridiculous. And Jal catching it all.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. Still, of course, a big army supply lead for Serral, but with +3 attack on the way and a ton of Psystorm, there is hope for Neeb fans. Remember, he can still build a Supermax and push through the Roach Ravager. Lurkers have not hit the field yet. There is no super powerful defensive unit, but he can't afford to lose any Immortals or High Templar out here. Oh, no!
Oh, that is just so rough. I mean, most of these Roaches will survive, and Serral has burrows, so if he burrows right now, I'll just be so sad, because they'll heal so very fast, and it's looking like Neeb is just struggling to find anything here. Okay, talk about anything. That would be nice, but no, Serral reacts too quickly. Neeb does not get to do his body blocks. At least one Locust Wave will be forced, and a few Storm Hosts will go down, but it's still the North American champion against the Rogues.
Yeah, Serral's bank is not that big. Remember, he's been on that low worker count this whole game. So, I mean, I keep mentioning, okay, if he could just stop hemorrhaging units, the hope is there. And after taking out the Swarm hosts, you know, maybe you get a 4th base up and you could play a macro game. But Lurkers are starting to hit the field. +3 attack is on the way for Serral. He's already got +1 carapace, so he's actually going to be keeping up in the upgrades with Neeb. The Roach Ravager still running around and just looking for pickoffs, and this is that bullying Zerg play. This army of Serrals, that pack of Roaches, is terrible against that army. But if you just come in, pick off an Archon, run away, well, suddenly it's doing its job, and it's doing it damned well. So this has been Serral this entire game. Honestly, just bullying play. He's always catching Neeb at position. He's running into dangerous areas, taking the damage, and then getting out of there before Neeb can respond. This is a frustrating style to play against, as the Roaches, they're going to find the High Templar again.
Oh, yeah. The High Templars are going to have a say in the matter, as they will use their weather powers on the Roaches, and now the Immortals chasing as well as Stalkers. This was not too bad, actually. A pretty decent trade for Neeb, and he is at the highest supply that he has been all game so far, actually. So maybe there is hope for Neeb fans, Big.
Yeah, he's going to be coming forward. There's no detection except one red hit point observer, though. That's not going to be enough to smash through. I don't think there's 7, 8 Lurkers have moved forward. But look at that movement by Neeb. He's going to say, okay, you know what? If you come forward, I can actually take this out. I don't think he can push through those Lurkers, though. Even with that core of Immortals, almost all of their barriers are gone. Oh, Serral sniping High Templar takes a big storm to the face, loses his 5th expansion as well. A good punish here by Neeb, but he's going to lose his 4th in return. potentially, and that is not something he can afford to lose right now. He needs that 4th base so desperately.
Yeah, he really does, and it's not like he can take the top
Lurker
left-hand corner either. Oh no, it is a Lurker ambush!
My God, Serral ran forward, the Lurker set up an ambush. Neeb was not expecting that. He's like, no, I'm the one with the scary army on the map. He goes back and stumbles into the Lurker trap. The scary thing when you're looking down, a 0-2 disadvantage as Neeb, is you've just lost a little bit of momentum. And that's exactly what Serral's been all about in this series. It is momentum.
Yes, indeed. And Serral doing the turn thing. They're mining one of his minerals before making the hatchery. He's never getting those back. Or do you think that hatchery just absorbs them? Like at least for nutrition or something of the likes?
Yeah, I like to imagine it's just like having a few vitamins, you know, getting some extra supplements. The hatchery, you know, you might not notice a huge benefit, but maybe it's got a more healthy digestive system or something. I don't know. Squeezes out some fitter lava. The Oracle is now out, sitting outside. The natural expand, drone count's going down, and that second Stargate in the main base, Cats. We are seeing 2 Stargate Phoenix.
All right. Well, I like it quite a bit. If it's unscouted, this type of strategy can be so very powerful. It could also help a great deal against what Serral has been doing with those swarm hosts. The Phoenix can really punish those. They can punish the locusts on the air and the swarm hosts on the ground. Oh, and the Oracle actually finding... Okay, let's start believing in chat. Hello? Finding a couple of drones and forcing a couple of morphs as well. Make it 4. Okay, not bad, Pig. Not bad.
Does Serral have any idea? I think this is the point where those Zerglings, if they poke at the front, they see 1 adept at the 3rd, 1 adept in the wall. That's a bit of a tell. And it's very important that Serral doesn't build any roaches here and that he keeps droning. If he can get enough drones and overlords out, he's going to be able to react to that first wave of Phoenix. And wow, look at this read from Serral, just going up to 5 gases, droning super hard. Serral playing this really well. Oh, interesting. He's going to go for triple queen. Response is Serral not building any spores between the bases, so he's just going to try and shore up in each mineral line. Builds an extra few spores next to the mineral lines, but not in between the bases. He just wants to protect those, and he's getting that Spire up as well. Now, that Spire is always an interesting one. It's been spotted immediately being out front the base. An extra Void Ray queues up here for Neeb, but he's already gone double Robo. So he cancels his Void Ray, says, actually, let's just cut air production. You can build a big wave of Corruptors. I'm going to swap into ground play. And that's totally fine. You can go for as many flying units as you want. These Phoenix are going to find damage before you get those Corruptors out. And then they're going to be a bit more defensive. They're going to be used just to defend the Corruptors whenever they come in and try to caustic spray down a Nexus and Forge, Twilight, non-stop probing. I like this response from Neeb. I think it's a great way to play against Spire. It's going to be a dangerous scenario, and the longer Serral stays on this lower work account, the more all-in he becomes.
Yeah, this is definitely turning out to be a little bit of a strange game, right? The Void Rays are very strong defensively against those Corruptors, but not so much offensively against those Queens and the many spores that Serral has made. He is finally situating his 4th base, and Neeb is going to get a nice hallucination scout, sees a lot of Zerglings and Roaches being produced to attack his 4th base. So it's now going to be the point of contention with this many Void Rays. I'm not sure that Serral can do much of anything here, Pig.
Good micro, though. He's already taken out 2 Phoenix, and the Bile's very dangerous. They can force them to disengage. That 4th base gets taken out, and Serral cancels the 4th there. Neeb finds himself here a bit caught off by this attack. Remember, he doesn't really have a lot on the ground yet. It's a few Immortals, couple Sentries, couple Zealots. He does need to get that next stage up. I honestly think Archons would be an absolute godsend. If he can get a few Archons out, that'd be great. Flux Veins, +1 air attacks on the way. It's going to be Void Ray Immortal Charge Lot for now. Nice. Of course, Corrosive Vials take out the Stasis Trap. Zerglings looking for the run by on the natural. They're going to find it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that the Void Rays did not engage the Corruptors there. Oh, wow. Serral burrowing a few Zerglings at the natural as well, being as annoying as he can be, and slowly chipping away at this entrance and the pylons. I don't know. How many Void Rays does he want before engaging the Corruptors, you think? Because it seems like he's focusing more on the... I see.
Yeah, I think he wants to chase them down. Ooh, that's a nice one. The Zergling Unburrow, though. Oh, that's such a good move. And the Corruptors in the main as well. Serral, once again, he bullies Neeb back with this crazy push on the front, which he was never going to win that fight. Neeb says, get the heck out of here. How dare you do that? He immediately counterattacks from the bottom with the Zealots, but that main base Nexus gets sniped. And once again, Serral finds himself 4 base versus 2 base. It's been the story of this series. Every composition, he finds a snipe on the main base. Every single game. game. He keeps doing it. And Neeb, it feels like he's trying to play catch up on the tech. That being said, his supply is way better than it's been at any point in this series. And Serral is doubling down on Corruptor production. If Neeb just doubles down on Void Rays and builds enough of them, I think at a certain point, about 12 Void Rays, I don't care how many Corruptors you have, that's going to be an awkward fight.
Yeah, that's definitely true, but at the same time, Neeb has been denied of a fourth, and Serral has burrowed links on each of his potential fourths. So let's see what he is able to accomplish here. He has focused a lot on the ground army as well, which is rather surprising. A good stasis trap, and now also Banelings in the mix. They're not gonna connect with too many light units, and here's the Void Rays to help out. The Phoenix go chase after the Ravagers, and they're gonna pick a few of those up. And the ground army really chasing the air army has no business there, but I'm also a little bit surprised all the Flux Veins were activated at the same time. This is a little bit dangerous for Neeb.
The prismatic alignment wears off there. There's still a lot of Corruptors popping out. Serral is going crazy on that. And the thing is, as the Archons come in, I'd love to see... I mean, this is where the fourth base not being there really affects Neeb. You know, if you can add Storm in this situation, you're in such an amazing spot, right? But he doesn't have the fourth base gas. And as you pointed out, he can't just move out and take that fourth base because he's only got one Observer in his army. These Corruptors have been so aggressive. Now, Serral is finding himself, though, in an awkward position because he's like, wait, that's a max out Immortal Archon Void Ray army. I don't know if I can handle that with just Banelings and Ravagers. He's trying to swap back into Hydras. That's a tech transition that's going to take a long time to get underway. It is not ready yet.
Yeah, and it looks like Neeb might be ready to move out, which would be one of his strongest possible moves. I think this is a very scary army. I mean, there is not a ton of anti-air. Oh, be careful with your Void Ray, Neeb. Okay, with the Archon support, they're going to zone out the Corruptors, but a few of those Void Rays already pretty low. This is a scary push on the side of Neeb. Banelings being morphed by Serral right now to try and hold on. It's not going to be an easy hold, however, if Neeb commits to it.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where Serral has kind of just shepherded Neeb into an all-in situation. He's trying to build another Prism and an Observer. I mean, the Corruptors, the way they've been moving on this map, has got to be so frustrating for Neeb. They found the Warp Prism on the move out. They forced him to pull back. This buys time to make so many Banelings and Ravagers. And you know what? Banelings are so good, even against Immortals and Archons. If they can find them pumped up, they will still be quite effective. They're going to come forward as Stasis Trap catches a few. The Biles landing across this army. This is still looking kind of dicey for Serral right now. He's only got 15 Banelings left in here.
It looks good for Neeb. A lot of the Banelings not finding the connections that they wanted, and now the Corruptors jumping onto the army of Neeb. However, Neeb has already cleared the base that he wanted to clear. He's continuing his push, but he has to be careful with those Archons not getting too far ahead of the army. Hello?
I think he's got to go home. I think he's a little bit overexposed as Neeb. He's got to be a bit more careful here. He's trying to push forward, but now in the tail end, he's lost all of his Archons. The Corruptors overwhelmed the Void Rays. It's Immortals versus Ravagers. Zealots trying to be warped in here, but Neeb in such a desperate circumstance. The Prism gets taken down. It's still so close, but I think with the Zergling reinforce, and look at those Ravagers, that's the dangerous pack. The Immortals need to take those Ravagers out, cats.
Yeah, the big problem here for Neeb is no more reinforcements are allowed, so the reinforcements for Serral will eventually clean this out. Neeb has to kill as many roaches as possible, and on the retreat, I mean, Serral already going for the third Nexus with his Corruptors. They're not gonna be sitting idly by, though Neeb does a nice warping and target fires the right Corruptors, but it's not gonna be enough. He also cleared the Circling at his fourth so that he can retake it, but now he has two bases to retake.
Yeah, immediately rebuilds the third base. Can't afford that fourth. Needs to make a big round of Archons here. Serral only on 53 workers. Did keep 4 hatcheries alive, though. And Neeb, he knows he's too far behind economically there.